Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a nice big version of Charmander. I plan on doing a tutorial like this for every single one of the 3 original starting Pokemon. I've already done one for Bulbasaur, link in the description, and maybe even on the screen if I'm not feeling too lazy. It'll look like a big giant clickable box, you guys won't be able to miss it. And I'll also be doing Squirtle not too long after this Charmander gets posted. I just thought I'd let you guys know. If you want to make Charmander, here's what you're going to need. You will need some sandstone block and some nether brick. You will also need some black wool, white wool, red wool, orange, yellow, lime green, and finally grab yourself some dark green wool. And once you have every single one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out what you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your Charmander with a row of 6 black wool in a row on the floor. That's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. And once you have your row of 6 black wool, this is what you want to do next. So, starting from left to right on top of your row of 6 black wool, starting from this left hand side, do this pattern. Do 1 white wool, 1 black wool, 1 white wool, 1 black wool, 1 white wool, 1 black wool, just stacked directly on top of your original row of 6. Once you've done that, you then want to take out your black wool once more, and you see this most left white wool stacked on top of the first black wool that we placed. Just place a black wool to the left of that white. Then go up on top of that black wool by 2. 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go up on top of that diagonal by 1. Then do another up left diagonal, and go up on top of it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an upright diagonal. This is the shape that you want to have formed. Once you've formed that shape, you now want to return back down to this row of 2 that we have here, just interconnecting some diagonal parts, and starting from this bottom black block here, you just want to go left by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go up on top of this 4th block by 1. Then go left by 1. Then do 3 up left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3. Go up on top of the 3rd up left diagonal by 1. Then do another up left diagonal, and go up on top of it by 2. 1, 2. Then go left by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go down from the 2nd bottom left diagonal by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go right of that diagonal by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do 2 up right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. If you've managed to do everything correctly, that 2nd upright diagonal should connect roughly back to where you started and give you a shape that should look exactly like this. Once you form that shape, we can now continue on. So you want to come up to the upper left hand side of your pixel art. You're looking for this block right here, if you guys can identify the block that I'm talking about. Once you've found this block, you want to go up on top of it by 4 with your black wool, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an upright diagonal. Then go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal, and go up by 3, 1, 2, 3. You then want to go right of this 3rd block by 1, but you also want to go left of it by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go to the right of the 2nd bottom right diagonal by 1. Then connect everything together with a single bottom right diagonal to give you this shape right here. Kind of looks like a really messed up Q shape. Once you've formed this, you now want to come up to the top of what you've just made, where we have this long row of black wool right here, and starting from the right hand side, you just want to raise up the third and fourth blocks. So counting in, that's the first, second, third and fourth blocks. Just raise those third and fourth blocks up each by one, like this. You then want to take out your nether brick and just go left of the left block that you just raised up. Then, take out your black wool and do an up left diagonal from the nether brick. Then do another one, because we were really supposed to do 2 up left diagonals. I apologise. From your nether brick, do 2 up left diagonals. On top of the second up left diagonal, go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. On top of your upright diagonal, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 lime wall, 1 dark green, 1 white wall, then do 2 black wool. 1, 2. Then you want to do 3 upright diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3. Go to the right of your third upright diagonal by 1. Then do another upright diagonal, and go right of it by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go right by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go down from the second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom right diagonal, and go down from it by 2. 1, 2. Then do another bottom right diagonal, and go down from it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 2. 1, 2. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go right of it by 2. 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. Go right of that upright diagonal with your red wool by 1. Then take out your orange and go right of the red by 1. Take out your black again and go above the orange by 1 with your black, but also go right of the orange by 1 with your black. Then go down from that black wool by 2. 1, 2. Then take out your orange wool again and go left of that second black wool by 1. Then go down from that orange by 1 with your black. Then take out your black wool again and go down from that red by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go left of that diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal, and go left by 2. 1, 2. With this row of 3 that we've now formed, you want to take the middle block, the second block, and go down from it by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go down from the second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then go right by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an upright diagonal, and go right by 1. Then do 4 upright diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then take out your red wool and go right of this 4th black diagonal by 2. 1, 2. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Take out your black wool and go down from the red bottom left diagonal by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal and go down from it by 1. Then do 5 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go to the left of the 5th bottom left diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal, and go left of it by 2. 1, 2. take this second block and go up until you reconnect back up to where we were just building a little bit earlier. This is the shape that you just want to have made. So once you've got that taken care of, the next thing on our agenda is to just fully complete the outline. There's barely any of it left, trust me, it's going to be really, really simple. So once you've done that, come all the way back down to the block that we were just building from. From the exact same block that you were just going up from, you want to, from this block, do a bottom left diagonal. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Now connect everything together by going down by one, and hopefully, if you've managed to do everything correctly, once you've connected everything together, you should end up with something that should look exactly like this. And this is just the entire outline of our Charmander complete. It's either Charmander or it's a really young, slim version of Barney the dinosaur. I can't exactly tell, I get them mixed up. Once you've reached this point right here, all we have to do now is add quite a bit of detail to our Charmander. Don't worry, it's not going to be so difficult, except for the tail. The tail's going to be hard. So, once you yourself have reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next, and obviously pause this video if you're still working on anything. So come all the way down to the bottom of Charmander's head area. The way that we're going to be adding details into Charmander, very similar to how I usually add details into pixel art. I'm kind of just going to add in little sections of detail, and then I'm going to show you guys the end result of it. That's how this is going to go. I think that this will just be the easiest way to do it. I think that if I try and describe what I'm doing, and I keep switching out blocks and try and provide instruction, I think that it's not only going to end poorly for me, but it's going to end poorly for you as well. There's no reason for us to tack an extra, 50 minutes on this video with me just incessantly calling out different colors for little really easy parts of areas to make. So this is what you want to have for Charmander's mouth and his nose. I don't think that you guys will have too much of a problem looking at this, pausing the video if you need to, applying everything that you see here, and then continuing on. Hopefully you guys will find that really, really easy. It's really simple. If you're having any difficulty whatsoever, just start with one colour, add all of that one colour in, and then just move on, and then just keep doing that, and eventually you'll be finished. Really, really simple. So, once you've got that taken care of, Charmander's mouth, Charmander's nose, pause this if necessary, we can now move on to Charmander's eyes. So, to do Charmander's eye, it's really, really simple. Just start off with two little bits of orange here. Now just going to add in a little bit of colour. Charmander's eye is really, really easy to see what you have to do by looking at it actually, because it's made up of so many different bright colours. It's really hard not to be able to tell what you actually have to do where. So we're just going to add in the eye, very much how we just added in the nose and the mouth, and then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So this is what you want to have for Charmander's right eye, and if you guys notice on the left eye, I just added in those 3 red blocks. You guys also want to add those in. And once you've got that eye and the left eye taken care of, both eyes taken care of, you've got the mouth, you've got the nose, that is all of the detail that exists in Charmander's face. Pause this video if necessary, of course. Once you've got all of that applied to your very own Charmander, we can now move on. By the way, all we'll have to do to fill in the rest of the face, it will just be completely block filled in with orange, so don't worry about it. The way that I'm going to do this next part, I'm just going to add in little bits of detail to the upper body that need adding in, and then I'm just going to show you guys what wants to go where. So this really won't take very long actually. I've just about added all of the detail that exists in the arms. It's just a little bit of red and a little bit of orange, and I'm going to show you them both together. So these are the little bits of detail that you want to add to both of Charmander's arms. That little section on the left that's kind of just closed off, just add those 3 blocks of red. Really, really simple. And on this right hand side, of course, you guys can see it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit of orange and a little bit of red to add as well. But then everything else will get coloured in with just block colour a little later on. Pause this video if necessary, of course. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the next bit. So we have a little bit of detail to add around Charmander's feet and his legs. We've got his claws to add in here, and we've also got a few patches of orange to add in around the tops of his legs. So I'm just going to add these in, and then again just show you guys exactly what you have to do. So let's just finish this up, shall we? Really easy stuff, shouldn't take you any time to do whatsoever once you can actually see what you have to do. So these are the little bits of detail that you want to add to the bottom and tops of Charmander's leg areas. Really simple, just a couple of patches of orange, and of course you want to add in the claws on the left hand side as well. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've got that taken care of, all we have to do now is Charmander's stomach and the entirety of his tail. The tail is going to take up most of our time. So here's how we're going to do this. Take out your red wool. I'm actually going to describe this next part just because it might be a little tricky if I don't. So for this next part, you want to come all the way down to the bottom of Charmander's mouth. You're looking for this third nether brick block right here. You guys shouldn't have too much difficulty finding this. It should be really simple. Once you've found this, with your red wool, just go down from it by 1. Then go right by 1. Then go down by 1. Then go right by 1. Then go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then go right by 1. Now finish this off by connecting this single block all the way down to this single black diagonal block that we have just at the top of Charmander's right leg. And what you want to have made there, essentially, we've just sectioned off like half of Charmander's torso, and that left part right there is just going to be completely filled in with sandstone a little bit later on. And that is Charmander's torso 100% complete. This is all of the detail that you want to have added to your Charmander so far. The reason that I've done this very quickly and without instruction, just look at it, it's really simple. There's barely anything to see. So once you've reached this part right here, we can now move on to his tail, which is a little bit harder, but again, not so difficult. We're going to just add in all of the necessary bits of colour right here. So first of all, you just want to add in that little patch of red wool and sandstone block. Really simple. You probably won't have too much trouble with that. That left section will then be filled in with red. The right upper section will be filled in with orange. Really simple. Once you've got that taken care of, we now move back onto the practical part where there will be instructions for. So we now have to make the fire that is on the end of Charmander's tail, which is a little bit tricky, especially to just kind of see or just to just kind of like copy it just by looking at it. So come up to the top of Charmander's tail. On top of these 3 blocks here, stack a row of 3 red wool, just directly on top, like that. Then stack a row of 2 red directly on top of the right 2 blocks of that red row of 3. You then want to take out your orange wool, and from this single red wool that we now have here on the left hand side, do an up left diagonal with your orange. Then go up by 1. Then go left by 1. Then go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. Go up on top of it by 2. 1, 2. Then go to the right of the top 2 blocks, each by 1 to form a P shape. You then want to, from this up right hand corner block, this top block that was extended to the right, from this block do an upright diagonal. And go up on top of it by 2. 1, 2. Then go to the left of this second block by 1. Then go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 up left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. You then want to take out your yellow wool, and on top of this block here and this block here, place 2 yellow wool, if you guys can see what I've done there. You then want to, going right of this orange wool, can you guys see what I'm talking about? Going right of this orange wool with your yellow wool, just place a single yellow wool. Then go down by 1. Then go right by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Extend up this second block. Then, with your orange wool, place a single orange on top of those 2 yellow wool. You then want to take out your yellow wool again, and you guys can see where we have this row of 4 yellow. Go down from this 4th yellow block by 1 with your yellow. Then take out your orange and go right of this yellow wool by 1 with your orange. Then do a bottom right diagonal and go down by 2. 1, 2. Extend those 2 blocks each to the right by 1, like that. You then want to take this original second block down and go left of this block by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to place 3 orange wool in this position. Here, here, and here. If you guys can see exactly what I've done there. We've formed that shape. Once you've done that, you now want to take this long row of 6 orange wool and starting from underneath the left hand side, do a row of 4 orange. So going right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend down the 3rd and 4th blocks each by 1, like this. Then do a bottom right diagonal from the right extended block coming down. Then go down from that diagonal by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. You now want to take the bottom 2 blocks in this now row of 4 and extend the bottom 2 blocks to the left each by 1, but you want to take the top 2 blocks and extend each one of those both to the right by 1 to form that shape. Once you've done that, you now, just to finish us off with the orange, want to place a single orange wool on top of those 2 red wool right there in those positions. And once you've done that, you now want to take out your yellow wool and you kind of just want to fill in the tail. You want to fill in this upper empty section here in with yellow, and you want to fill this bottom empty section here in with yellow, like this. So you just want to have formed this shape right here with your orange and yellow, and as I said, this is the really irritating part of the tutorial. It's just a massive mess. Oh, and we also have to add 2 additional yellow, so you guys can see where we have like this 2x2 empty space. Just add 2 yellow wool in those positions right there, and what you want to end up with once the tail has been 100% fully completed is something that should look exactly like that. Not too difficult, but it's kind of getting there. Once you've got that taken care of, all you have to do now to completely fill in your Charmander is we've just got to fill in certain sections with certain colours, and it's going to be nice and easy to see what colours you have to add where once I myself have just completely filled in our Charmander. So I'm going to be back in just a second once I've completely filled in our Charmander pixel art, and then you guys will be able to see what you have to do where. So I'll be back in just a moment once I've accomplished all of that. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have fully finished filling in our Charmander. Really easy. Once you've taken care of all of those minor details, the last part of this is just a piece of cake. As you can see, you fill the face, the left arm and half of the tail in with orange, and you fill the left leg, the right hand side of the body, and half of the tail in with red, and of course you just fill the entire belly in with sandstone, and that's all you have to do. Really simple, and this is what you should end up with if everything's been correct thus far, if you guys have managed to follow the tutorial correctly. So hopefully this is exactly what you guys end up with. Thanks for watching guys, and remember there is also a tutorial for Bulbasaur on the channel, and there will very soon be Squirtle, and that will take care of all 3 of the original starters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.